From one of my paisans to another, from Patino to Izzo. What an unbelievable run last year for Tom Izzo in Michigan State. Not just unbelievable, but completely unexpected as the Spartans made it all the way to the Final Four. Now they'll try to get back without Travis Trice and Brandon Dawson. Here is the Michigan State head coach.
Season All Big Ten selection, Denzel Valentine. Coach, welcome back. We'll start with an opening statement and then open it up for questions.
Well, thanks. Well, it's hard to believe it's been 21 years, but this one's starting out exciting for me. I think we have a completely different team than most that I've had. I think it's one of our best shooting teams. We're more athletic. Hopefully, over the summer, we've probably spent hours and hours just shooting free throws. Last year, we were the worst free throw shooting team in captivity, and hopefully we are going to turn that around this year. But I'd say depth, shooting are our strengths. A little concerned because shooters think it's illegal to guard people, so I'm a little concerned about our defense and our rebounding. Not as big a team at times, but I think the other thing we can do is we can be versatile. We can play Denzel at the point and be a real big team, and we can, play Tom and a small four-man and be a small team. So I think we've got ability to play two different ways, three different ways. And again, for some reason, last year and this year, we have very good leadership, and our chemistry's been great. And Denzel's had a heck of a summer along with some other guys. So, as always, for these coaches, for all of us, haven't lost the game. Everything's positive. Wait a couple weeks. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Coach. Please raise your hand high if you'd like to ask a question.
Perfect.
Let's go front, right, center.
Hey, Tom, I know it's obviously very early. The Big Ten potentially could be extremely strong this year. Just your take on that and how you not project things, but how you think things will go.
Well, I've been in the league a lot of years, 30-some, if you looked at my GA days up, and there were some really incredible years early on. But the depth of this league and what the coaches that we got in it, everybody's going to argue, everybody's going to be prejudiced. But I still say top to bottom, the last 4 or 5 years, it's been the best league in the country. And I think this year, you had some teams that had some injuries. You had some teams that maybe didn't live up to expectations last year. And I think all those teams are going to be better. You would hope teams like Wisconsin are down a little bit from what they lost. But, Bo comes back, so they're going to be really good. And I just think I think what we've done as a conference is, we've put money into our sport. We got great coaches in our league, and the profile of this league has gotten better and better. I think we're not a 3 yards in a cloud of dust basketball league anymore, and I think that's helped recruiting. So I think the league is as good as it's been, and Maryland's definitely the cream of the crop if you look at what they got coming back. But I think, I see Indiana taking a major jump, and then everybody else is going to be fighting for those next spots, at least early on.
Let's go fourth row on the aisle.
Coach, you've got a high-profile transfer in Aaron Harris Jr. coming in. How do you expect him to fit into the mold of this team?
Well, I think he'll fit in well. He can really shoot the ball. He's very athletic. I think the two things he had to work on is finding a shot he didn't like. That was one, and I think he's made some progress and guarding somebody, and I think he's made some progress in that area. I really like Aaron. He's worked hard. He's a gym rat. I think if there's one thing I'll say about him and Denzel, they've kind of, Bryn Forbes, those guys have kind of led some other guys, or we have a lot of guys that have turned into gym rats, and gym rats is every coach's dream, and definitely Aaron Harris is one of them.
See, second row, left-hand side, all the way on the wall.
Coach, I just wanted to get your take on the new rule changes this year, what you think of them, if another wave of them was necessary in your opinion, and just how much TV ratings really play into this whole thing.
Well, I like the 30-second. We played over in Europe this summer. We played with a 24-second. If it was up to me, if I was the czar for the day, I'd try to get every rule like the NBA, personally. I just think that we'd have a better working relationship. It would make sense to me. We wouldn't be able to sell the D-League as easy, that there's a change in the game. Everything would be the same. You wouldn't have 13 lines on the floor. You know, we moved that line back on the charge, which to me was a great idea, and then the women kept theirs, and, you know, we finally got the three-point lines the same. So I'm just trying to get it like it's not the gym at Northern Michigan where I went, where there were volleyball lines and basketball lines and hard to figure out where you are. So I think if we get more unified, maybe not the 24-second clock, maybe 30 might seem fine, but if it was up to me, I'd like to see him move the ball. You know, the new 5-second call I think I'm great with, because I think it's a touchy call. Is he 6 feet away? Is he 4 feet away? You know, take those decisions out of the Zebra's hands, and I think it's going to be better for our game. As far as TV goes, I don't know if TV had anything to do with these, but I like them, and I wish we'd take one more step and unify our entire basketball from high school to pro ball, and I think we'd be better off, personally. Do I think it's going that way? You know, I get disappointed on the committees I'm on. I think you always hear, well, you don't want to be like the NBA. Why not? You know, why not? That's what the kids want. And so I do think, you know, it's interesting. The women are experimenting with the 4 quarters. We played with that over in, I mean, that's their rule in Europe. I even kind of like that. You know, I don't think we have to have a 48-minute game, but a 40-minute game where you can move the ball at the end, where, you know, every ball isn't out of bounds underneath. I mean, I love some of the NBA rules personally, and we got them now where you can't touch anybody out on the perimeter, and they can't touch anybody out on the perimeter. And so, do I see it going that way? I don't know. You know, it's up to other people than me, but I said what I'd like. That was just personal opinion.
Let's go. 4th row on the aisle, left-hand side.
Tom, in some of the autonomy discussions among the Power 5 conferences, time demand seems to be a real issue for college student athletes. And with college basketball, there's been a backtracking, I guess, of practicing. You can practice earlier, even though they have the same number. You get to work out in the summer a little bit more often. Do you think that has it reached its limit of what you can do with student athletes, or do you think that's going to backtrack at all in the future to limit time demands on them?
I think it's a joke. Personally, you know, are we going to limit time on Twitter? You know, are we going to limit their, you know, we're so worried about the players that we don't want to practice, we don't want to do this. I mean, there's no coach. Coaches are smarter than we used to be, I think, where we're not going to beat a kid to death, you know, but sometimes I wonder when these new things come out, who are they polling? Are they polling the basketball player? Are they polling the student athlete? Because every sport's different, you know. I don't see surgeons worrying about their time. I don't see musicians worrying about theirs, but for some reason we want to give guys more time. When we give them more time, there seems to be more trouble, and then we get in trouble. So I struggle with that thing. Most of my players that I know right now, and I think this is the way I like it for me. I asked Denzel, think we're tired? You think we're this? You think we're that? If you got guys that are driven to be great, they want to be in the gym, they want to be practicing. I mean, I don't think I always have to be there, but I think we make too big of a deal about this. It was like, you know, when we said somebody's starving and didn't get to eat dinner, and all of a sudden we change all the rules, you know, who's kidding who. I struggle with that a little bit. I wish that we'd just poll basketball players or football players or gymnasts, whatever their sport is. Each sport might be different, but I don't know many guys that don't want to be in the gym. And if they want to keep taking hours away, I mean, it's the same for everybody. I question some of that.
That's all the time we have today, Coach. Thanks very much, and good luck this season.